Today was the day that Buu felt truly woke. Hey guys, MasakoX here. Now today's What If is a bit of a one-shotter, as it were, in the regards that it's quite a simple what if, but it's something that everybody's been yearning for ever since we found out the original team roster for the Tournament of Power in Dragon Ball Super. There was a character in the team that seemed to have set himself in stone, or in this case pink jello, into the actual team roster, and we were all pretty excited for it. It was even in the intro sequence. That's kind of like the creators telling us that, yeah, this is going to be a thing, we're not going to do a bait and switch, we're going to do a bait and switch. Instead of Buu, we got Frieza. Again. And although the execution of Frieza in the Tournament of Power saga was actually done pretty well, much better than anyone could have expected when we first found out about that little bit of information, there is no debate though that when we first heard about that switcheroo thing, everybody was angry. I personally remember being absolutely furious at the notion of Buu falling asleep yet again. That joke wasn't funny the first time. I remember that episode specifically just going, no, please don't be asleep, please don't be asleep. So today, I'm going to be doing something that Toriyama chickened out of doing, and actually using Majin Buu in the Tournament of Power saga like he should have done. What might have happened had Majin Buu not only gone through with his training, actually stayed awake for it, and actually was a member of Team Universe 7 in the Tournament of Power in the Universe Survival Arc. And I get the feeling that way down the line this is going to have dramatic consequences going into what potentially might be the Broly movie story, but that is for another time because I'm not going to spoil it obviously, and we obviously don't know the specific details. For now though, we need to go back to the Universe 6 tournament to kind of get an understanding as to why many people were irritated at the idea of Buu falling asleep. You see, he was meant to be in Team Universe 7's battle with Team Universe 6, when we first saw Hit, Kaba, Winnie the Boo Bear. That gag may have been lame at the time of Buu falling asleep during an exam, but, you know, it was a classic pull. Toriyama would do something to think, you're not gonna get Buu! And it didn't have that much of a consequence, because it was a bit of a tournament which ultimately ended in at least a draw, and nobody really got harmed by it. It was fine. So at the time, Buu got a pass, but we managed to actually see what he could actually do during the exhibition round in the anime before the Tournament of Power began. We got to see Buu do his stuff, which was pretty awesome. We did get the sleeping gag again, but it was quickly redeemed when Mr. Satan just literally pulled out some chocolate. You think, oh, okay, that's cool. That was just a little gag. Everything's all right. Buu not only proved to be quite powerful still, but actually really handy in a battle. Even though the mentality wasn't in for the fighting, it was more for playing, it was still enough to impress Goku. Nobody had actually really considered the efficacy of Majin Buu's power, or at least Mr. Buu's power, after the Buu arc was done. And not only that, this all got through to Buu as well, because this got him really energized and got him doing even more training than he did ever in his entire life. For the next few days, he concentrated on his training and became really swole, and was even able to get one over Goku. I mean, quite handily too, and really quickly. I mean, granted, Goku was in his base form, but Super Saiyan Blue during that period was really like a rubber band. It didn't really matter, because, you know, Krillin could take on Blue, and then 17 could take on Blue, and it was like, don't even try to compare. Where this scenario differs from the original is that Buu doesn't get tired after all this constant training, or at least not until after the tournament. He's been downing some of those chocolate-covered coffee beans or something. Now that he's actually staying awake, he's got an extra 12 hours worth of training, which is absolutely vital, and this makes him even more powerful than he was when he fought Goku in around episode 85, was it? He's realized that he doesn't only get to show off his strength to the other people here, he actually might be able to find new playthings and new friends from different universes. All these different things, it's going to be so interesting, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, with being a friend, Mr. Satan is obviously concerned for Buu's safety, as well as everyone else's safety if Buu doesn't get his way. But realistically, there is nothing that he can do to try and stop Buu for obvious reasons. All he can do as a friend is just support him and hope that he comes back in one piece. One Piece, eh? With that, Mr. Satan gives Gohan a call, and remember, Gohan was the team captain. Yeah, Universe 7, it wasn't Goku. And while that's going on, Goku is gathering all the other members of Team Universe 7 in the traditional fashion. And yeah, I still don't understand why Beerus just literally gave up and let Goku just pick his mates or something like that. I know that Beerus was angry with Goku, but you know, the safety of the entire universe, you know, your job, your livelihood was on the line, I think you'd want to be a little bit more invested. So the biggest thing to take away from all of this is that Frieza is no longer required for Team Universe 7. He can just stay down in HFIL and just be around all the bunnies and the flowers and the marching bands, and yeah, he can just have fun with that. And I also think that that means we don't get the squad of bandits and minions from Universes 4 and 9, because the reason why they came along was to try and take out Frieza, because, you know, he was being brought back from, you know, the afterlife, and Beerus and the whole thing getting one over him. You know, they don't need to do that. So Kitella is just going to in his own little cabin or something. Now with everyone ready to go, the team then head off to the world of Void and just take in and bask in the infinite abyss of nothingness. And when the actual competition begins, Buu flies off with everybody else, leaving Gohan and the rest of his Earth buddies just standing around the center of the pillar. So things continue on initially like they do in the original anime, and instead of Frieza taking out Napapa, it's Buu taking out Napapa, because naturally, you know, Napapa's big and pink and round, so Buu's just thinking, oh boy, another Buu! So naturally he wants to actually challenge Napapa and just see which one of the Majins is stronger. Maybe he's found a new friend. After tussling around for a bit, Buu's really getting quite happy, and he's going like, you like Buu? And then just like stretches his head to think, are you a Majin too? Can you do that? And that scares Napapa senseless, like, what the hell are you doing? And then naturally he calls Buu a freak, and yeah, name calling, you really shouldn't do that, mate. Buu immediately gets tired of playing with Napapa. No friend would do this to him, so he just grabs Napapa and just chucks him out of the ring like he was nothing. As for the Trio de Danger, well, Basil is very keen to get his revenge on Buu for understandable reasons, but you know, the power gap, it was kind of noticeable then, it's even more apparent now. Basil doesn't take into consideration that Buu is absolutely thrilled to see his red fox friend again. Buu just goes in all in absolutely with Basil and just sends the fox flying out of the ring before he even knows it. Yep, Basil's now in the stands absolutely beside himself. He's away from his brothers and he didn't even get a chance to show that he never skipped leg day. I mean, can you blame him? He probably didn't even know what just happened. What happens with Frost, I hear you ask? Well, Frost is indeed a pest, but I think this is something that Buu would take in his stride. Buu is plenty powerful and will take any cheap shot quite easily, so I can imagine that Frost is going in there trying to do the cheap shots like he did with Krillin, but since Buu is super stretchy, Boo's just going like, woo, and Frost is just getting more and more frustrated, and no matter what he tries to do to try and knock him out, you know, Boo's just got one hand in there. And not to mention, you know, the element of surprise is now gone, so yeah, Boo's, yeah, again, got the upper hand there. Frieza and Buu share the same mentality of a plaything, only with Frieza it's much more of a sinister notion, whereas Buu is genuinely excited to find a plaything or a playmate. It does still sound kinda bad, but Buu did promise Mr. Satan that he wouldn't endanger anyone's lives, and, you know, he does trust and really embrace the friendship he has with Mr. Satan. He's not gonna let him down. The next confrontation that Buu has is with Universe 2's Jimeze. You know, the Jimeze is the Yardratian who can do instant transmission. He literally just goes around, just kind of like jumping around like anyone playing like a online game would. You just go, just jumping around, instant transmission. Jimeze's gimmick is just to rattle his opponents, and rattle he does because Buu, he's getting angry. And one thing that the Yardratian didn't take into account was Buu's explosive temper. Buu's getting angrier and angrier. Buu, get angry! Buu, hate you! He's immediately frustrated, performs an angry explosion, which just sends an absolute ripple effect, taking out Jimeze almost instantaneously. Now, no, don't worry. It's like with Frieza. You think that he's bitten the dust, but not quite. I mean, Jimeze is pretty much wrecked now anyway. So now we jump to the next step where Buu would actually make an impact in the Tournament of Power, and that's after the Goku-Jiren fight, the first one. With Goku nearly out of energy and having to like scurry away, so that means, you know, Hit and Jiren can do their thing, he's got no one to turn to, or at least he doesn't think he has. He completely forgot about the idea that Buu can actually do something about it. Some of you might not remember that Buu can actually heal people, and heal people really well, you know, actually reconnect body parts like with Babidi. So I would imagine that Buu would go over to heal Goku, not just enough so that means he can actually move around and stuff, but almost to full strength again. That means instead of resorting to hiding in the shadows for the next few minutes, Goku's now back up to full power and has gotten a full Zenkai boost. Having not seen exactly what happened, Universe 3 assumes that Goku is almost on the brink of exhaustion, so now is the time to strike. Aya and Moscow then order Paparoni to send in Koitsukai, Panchia, and Bororetta, our favourite mascot on the channel, to go and take out Goku and Buu. But that goes down really badly. With Goku now back up to full strength and Buu around liking, "Robot toy playmates!" You know, they're gone. We don't even get to see Anilaza, and that just leaves Paparoni just going, "Ugh." For a while, Buu just wanders around trying to find more playmates because they're just dropping like flies. He eventually stumbles upon the fight with Mona and Kaba, assuming that Mona might be a Majin as well, and he's again sorely disappointed to find out that that isn't the case. Buu's just getting more and more exasperated, thinking, what was the point of even coming here? He can't find friends, all the playthings that he finds are too weak. What was the point again? Oh yeah, he doesn't want to let Mr. Satan down. Mona is then eliminated by Buu, which means that unfortunately at this time, Kaba doesn't get the Super Saiyan 2 transformation. However, it does mean that Kaba's still in the game and he's not eliminated just yet. Later on, Buu watches as Goku showcases Super Saiyan 2 and 3 to Caulifla and Kale, and remembers when Goku did that with him and showing Super Saiyan 3. Oh, that brought back memories. Super Saiyan 3 was fun. The fight between Caulifla and Kale and Goku and then Kefla and Goku continues on like it does in the anime. We then get Ultra Instinct with Kefla and you know how that all goes. Buu knows exactly what's going to happen at this point and is ready to come back in with the heel again, but Toppo has got other ideas in mind. With his mighty big hands and mighty big moustache, Toppo just backslaps Buu out of the ring, saying that what he was doing was dishonorable and Goku should fight without help of any kind. Buu falls out of the ring, and everybody thinks that he's out. But, where is he? He's not up in the stands. He hasn't shown up yet. Is he just falling or something? No one knows what's going on, not even the Grand Priest. Gohan's pocket quivers, and he suddenly remembers the promise that he made with Mr. Satan to keep Buu safe, or at least in the competition for slightly longer. He pulls out a pink blob of jello and tosses it on the ground, which eventually reforms and calls back all the other stuff and forms another Majin Buu! Naturally, this absolutely astounds the two Zenos, and they find it absolutely the ultimate upset and twist. They're loving it. This angers the Pride Troopers, and they set about eliminating every other fighter, including, unfortunately, Kaba. Yeah, he tried his best to hang in there alongside Vegeta, and this means that we then typically get to the end game with Universe 7 versus Universe 11. Now granted, Buu isn't as strong as Golden Frieza at this point, but he's far more unpredictable, and this is just getting Dispo absolutely frustrated. Not only that, but Buu doesn't have a tail, so Dispo can't use that little nugget. But unfortunately, this leads to Buu just getting really angry because he can't get a hit, Dispo's just dodging like that other annoying fly earlier, and this just leads to an even bigger angry explosion. He really hates this little purple rabbit that looks like Beerus for some reason, and then boom! Unbridled fury, and yeah, this is Buu's downfall. We're not talking about Dispo just being ultimately okay and still alive. No, Dispo's toast. And this gets the Grand Priest immediately coming down and disqualifying Buu, sending him back to the stands, and Buu now just harumphing, just going like, the rest of the tournament plays out like this, and unfortunately it doesn't go well for Universe 11. Now you see, with Frieza no longer here, and Gohan actually in his place, kind of, Toppo doesn't go full God of Destruction because Gohan fights honorably and with respect, and Toppo can dig that. So with that, Vegeta steps in and takes out Toppo, still being in the game. 17 still sacrifices himself for the greater good, and instead of Goku and Frieza dealing the final blow to Jiren, it's Goku and Gohan, like the ending of Ending 9 actually stated, so we didn't get that bait and switch. Well, I get the feeling that with Gohan's ultimate form, his potential keeps on rising constantly. So with actually being in the game more and more, this would mean that his power will be increasing as well. That and the fact that Toppo didn't go full beefcake helped a lot. With 17 winning the tournament and everybody going back to their respective universes, Goku promises to use the Dragon Balls to bring Dispo back to life, and Toppo can really appreciate that honourable gesture after all of the fuss that Goku had caused. So there we go. Buu's inclusion in the tournament of Power Universe 17 gives us a lot of potential. He can still heal, he could potentially have a backup Buu at any time, whilst at the same time still sharing some elements of Frieza in the term of playthings. All in all, not too dissimilar. So what do you guys think? Do you think this was a pretty decent scenario analysis? Would you have done things differently? leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Until the next one, be sure to like and subscribe. Catch you later!